Okay, so I want to show you the straightforward way to export your video in Premiere. But I also want to let you know that if you still want to work in Premiere and you want it to um, export your video behind the scenes, you can do that with the Adobe Media Encoder, which you can find in Applications in Finder, or you can use Launchpad and find the Adobe Media Encoder among the right here among the applications, or you can go here to Applications from Finder, Applications, Adobe Media Encoder, and launch it here, which I already have it launched here. And I clicked from the Queue panel, I clicked the plus, I added um, my Premiere project file, and I chose the sequence. The window came up and it allowed me to choose the sequence, and then I pressed the play button here, and it's been encoding an MP4 file to this location here. So that's all going on behind the scenes right now. And that's if you still want to work in Premiere on something and you don't want it to bog down the system and prevent you from working. But if you are all done, you can just export right from Premiere. So let's say I'm done with this, or at least this work in progress, and I'm ready to make a file from Premiere. So I would go File, Export, Media, and if you'll notice there is a keyboard shortcut, Command M right there, you can memorize for media, for exporting media. And then it takes you into the export settings dialog box, and you have output, you have scaling. I'm just going to leave it at that. There are different options, scale to fill for just viewing. I'm going to leave that alone. Now here you can adjust the source range. Right now it's set to in and out. I didn't set any in and out points in my timeline, so I have different options here. If I were to adjust, see, this is just scrubbing through. If I were to adjust these little triangles here, this would be like changing the work area. And now the source range says custom, but this should be the entire sequence. You can also choose entire sequence, or you can choose to set it to the work area, but I turned my work area off, so entire sequence works. It was on in to out, but I didn't mark any in and outs on my timeline, so entire sequence will work for me. Okay, so now over here in this column, the format, you should go to first, format settings, and switch QuickTime to H.264. You notice there's an H.264 that's especially for Blu-ray. If you wanted to burn a Blu-ray disc, we can't do that here, unfortunately, but you can at home if you have a drive for Blu-ray. But for turning in work, please choose H.264. You're welcome to have it on QuickTime for your own purposes to make a video that's uncompressed. Right now the preset is set to NTSC DV widescreen. That's digital video. That's not optimal. You could also check match sequence settings, and it's supposed to match the size of the footage, which is ideal. And then looks like the format would be an MPEG. But okay, but so these are so the straightforward steps. What I'd like you to follow for the class is to simply go to, we're not going to have that checked. We're just going to go to format. We're going to go to H.264. Okay, now the preset is saying match source high bit rate. That's what we want. And make sure that we name it properly. So for turning this in, we're going to go to where it says output name, click on the blue text link here, and we're going to name it last name followed by your first initial dash promo for the promo. For if you're doing the chroma project, chroma key, you can put last name first initial dash chroma or chroma key like that. So this is the promo, so I'm going to call it promo. Okay, and make sure to click the drop down button here to expand your window so that you can save this to the right place, which should be the documents area unless you have your own external hard drive. So I'm going to documents area, and I'm going to go to my folder for the class, and I'm going to just put it in there, and I'm going to uncheck hide extension so that I can see what format this is. So this is going to be an MP4 file. That's what the H.264 will give you. That's the codec that will make your file a small file size while still retaining good quality. That's the beauty of H.264, and it's great for YouTube, great for your finalized file that you turn in to the Dropbox. So first thing is to name it then and save it to your own space on your documents area or in your external drive, on your external drive, and then just click save there. So that's setting the name and the location right here. And we're including video and audio here, so both of those are checked. And then as long as you're happy with the way your video turns out, you don't have to make any changes here, down here on anything. But if you're not happy, you could try adjusting the target bit rates of these sliders and see if you get better results. And the keyframe distance on what, how many frames are going to be pristine frames with full data versus the estimated frames in between where the computer does a lot of guesswork, which is what saves the space on the file. But it does a good job with just the default settings, so I'm going to leave those alone. And then all that's left is to click export down here. If you click Q, I think then it will line it up actually in Media Encoder. But we're going to just click export. And then it's going to encode in Premiere as opposed to encoding it in the Adobe Media Encoder. So it's saying, it was saying 9 minutes. Now it went down to 3 minutes, so that's good. It's going really fast. 2 minutes.